Hello, it's Andrew. Back with another one of my videos. I might be a bit less get the words out. I might be a bit less effervescent than normal today. I've been struggling with a cold a bit the last few days. Less effervescent, is that a word? Probably not. Anyway, those of you who've seen these before know the drill. Those of you who haven't, I do every video pretty much one take, no script. Just talk for a few minutes and see what happens. So today I'm quite excited actually. I've got a new book just been published. It's called British History. There's the front cover. If you actually buy the real book, this is just a proof copy, so you won't get not for resale? Yeah, not for resale that's been put across that. And on the back, there's the blurb, which I shall read. It says, British history stretches from the origin of Stonehenge 5,000 years ago to current controversies surrounding Brexit and the future of the nation. First published in 2008, this panoramic survey of themes in our history, along with their contemporary relevance, has been expanded and revised. Among a varied cast of people, there are detailed profiles of Boudicca, St Swithin, Ethelred the Unready, King Canute, Richard the Lionheart, Samuel Pepys and George III. The development of the states of England, Scotland and Wales, along with their unification as Britain, are explained. Combining profound events with amusing trivia, this kaleidoscope of stories is a thoroughly entertaining popular history. It may have seemed I hesitated halfway through that. The reason was the not for resale line kind of almost obscures a couple of lines of the blurb, but I sort of know what it says anyway, and I could just about read it. So just to explain, yes, so this is 2018 update of a book first came out as Legends of British History in 2008. I've added some new chapters, revised and expanded a few of the other ones, put a nice new chapter at the end called A United Kingdom, The Road to Brexit. The United Kingdom with a question mark after it. Basically, what the book is, it looks at various themes in our history and traces them. We start with Stonehenge, then the Roman invasion, Boudicca's rebellion, things like the legends of St George, the origin of the British monarchy, the origins of the states of England, Scotland and Wales. And so there's various events and famous people are profiled, and then there's as well as sort of detailed profiles of particular people and events, there's some sort of linking chapters which provide an overview of a particular historic era. So that's where we are. If just flicking through the preliminary pages, there's I think it's an amusing author note. You can probably have a look on Amazon and check that out if you're interested. Contents page, preface, which basically shows where my interest in history develops from, and start with a childhood visit to Stonehenge, and I say a few things that basically what I'm looking at is, as I said earlier, I've looked at themes in our history. I also look at their importance to contemporary society. A lot of it is I hop forward from the event in the past, and then I look at how that has some impact on the way we are now. Because also I say history it's a constantly evolving process. It's not just something stuck and fixed in the past. It's the history of Britain is basically something that's happened over thousands of years, which has basically taken us to where we are now. So that's where we are. So I, as well as sort of setting out the history, I look at the way in which sort of participants, chroniclers, diarists, historians have looked at it. I also look at the way in which some of these events have been portrayed in books, films, television programs. So I think it's quite an accessible history rather than a history for the specialists. So what I also thought I'd do is just have a quick chat about the first chapter, which is called Stonehenge and Prehistoric Britain. And basically what this does it takes us from, looking here, the earliest date is 9000 BC, or BCE as we call it nowadays, which is when the waterway which divides Britain from Ireland was formed, and then about 6000 BCE, rising sea levels created the North Sea, so Britain was finally completely separated from both the European continental landmass and Ireland. And basically at this point, which was like 8,000 years ago, Britain became an island, and that's where we can look at like our history starting, or at least our prehistory, because right from then through to the Roman period, very few people's names are known. But what I suggest is the most striking example of what happened in that time is still surviving with us, is Stonehenge. So I look at both the history of how Stonehenge was created, the theory about how the stones got there, because some of them actually came from over 200 miles from Wales. And I also look at the way in which people have developed theories about why Stonehenge was set up in that place, what its scientific or religious purpose was, and then a few of the legends surrounding Stonehenge, some of which relate to King Arthur. And then finally I look at the way in which Stonehenge was actually, it's 1918, so 100 years ago this year, Stonehenge finally became property of the British government. Prior to that, it was just owned by individual landowners. A lot of the stones that got ransacked. And then so in the last 100 years, that proper conservation has taken place at Stonehenge, and the work of English Heritage and the National Trust, which protects Stonehenge and other historic buildings. So hopefully that's been of some interest. There's a little wander through the idea of the book and the first chapter, and no doubt I'll be back another day with another little piece about what's in the book. So thank you for watching, and I'll say goodbye for now and see you another day. Thank you. Goodbye.